Welcome back my YouTube channel Coin Discovery Old Zone. Today's video, we're exploring one of America's most recognized coins, this coin 1965 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that might just surprise you with its fascinating story, subtle details, and astonishing potential value. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Its design was chosen through a public competition, and the winning entry came from artist Felix Schlag, whose portrait of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello would become iconic parts of American coinage for decades. The year 1965 was particularly significant in U.S. coin history. It marked the peak of a nationwide coin shortage, prompting the U.S. Mint to make major changes in how coins were produced. While silver coins were being phased out, the Jefferson nickel maintained its copper-nickel composition, but saw some changes in minting policies. Interestingly, in 1965, the U.S. Mint stopped placing mint marks on coins. This meant that Jefferson nickels from this year carry no mint mark, making it difficult to tell where they were made. This was done to discourage coin hoarding during the shortage, and it remained in effect until 1968. The 1965 Jefferson nickel was minted in large quantities. Over 1.7 billion pieces were struck, all officially from the Philadelphia Mint, though some believe a portion may have been produced at other facilities. Despite this massive number, not all 1965 nickels are equal, especially when it comes to condition and die varieties. The design on the obverse of the 1965 nickel features a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Around him are the words, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," with the date 1965 on the right. The reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia. The words "E pluribus unum" are inscribed above, and below the building, you'll see Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Though the design is simple, it's admired for its balance and classical appearance. In terms of composition, the 1965 nickel consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Unlike dimes and quarters of the time, it was never made of silver, which helped stabilize production during the coin shortage. What makes the 1965 Jefferson nickel especially fascinating to collectors are its errors and varieties. Some rare examples include double die obverse, weak strikes, off-center errors, and even die cracks. These varieties are often subtle, but they can greatly affect a coin's desirability and value. Collectors also seek out high-grade examples. Because most 1965 nickels were heavily circulated, finding one in mint state condition, especially with full steps on Monticello, is extremely rare. Coins with full steps, FS, grading have sharply defined steps on the reverse, which are difficult to strike clearly. The grading of Jefferson nickels ranges from poor P1 all the way to mint state 70, MS 70. A typical circulated 1965 Jefferson nickel may be worth only a few cents. However, the true rarity lies in finding a pristine, untouched coin with full details and nowhere. Now let's talk about value. Most 1965 Jefferson nickels in circulated condition are worth 5 to 25 cents, just slightly above face value. However, in higher grades, especially with full steps, they become significantly more valuable. A certified MS-66 full steps coin can fetch hundreds to several $1,000s, depending on market demand. But here's where things get exciting. A rare 1965 Jefferson nickel in near-perfect condition with full steps has reportedly been auctioned for an incredible $2 million. This particular coin stood out for its flawless strike, immaculate preservation, and exceptional rarity. Though such a value is extremely rare and driven by collector interest, it reminds us of the hidden potential in everyday coins. This massive value is not typical, but it emphasizes the importance of closely inspecting your change. Condition, eye appeal, and strike quality play a huge role in coin valuation, and the Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how common coins can sometimes hold extraordinary value. If you're going through your old coin jars, be sure to check these 1965 nickels. Look for sharp details, especially on Monticello's steps. If the coin is uncirculated, has a strong strike, and possibly a die error, it could be a valuable addition to your collection, or even a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Preservation is key. If you believe you have a high-quality 1965 Jefferson nickel, store it properly and consider having it graded by a professional service, such as PCGS or NGC. A certified grade will authenticate your coin and help determine its true market value. The Jefferson nickel remains an important part of American numismatics. It not only honors a founding father, but also represents a unique period in U.S. coin history. This coin 5 cents, 1965 Jefferson nickel United States coin history. This coin 1964 Jefferson nickel, one of the most widely circulated 5-cent coins in United States history, yet full of mystery, unique varieties, and even millionaire surprises. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had circulated since 1913. The new design featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. This new series was intended to honor his legacy and bring a modernized look to the 5-cent coin. The design of the Jefferson nickel was created by artist Felix Schlag, whose submission was selected through a competition held by the U.S. Mint. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll see a left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse side features his famous home, Monticello, a neoclassical mansion he designed and lived in near Charlottesville, Virginia. The year 1964 was significant for the Jefferson nickel. It marked one of the highest mintages in U.S. coinage history. Due to a nationwide coin shortage in the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint ramped up production in an effort to meet the overwhelming demand for coins in circulation. As a result, the 1964 Jefferson nickel saw an astonishing mintage of over 2.8 billion coins across both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Of those, the Philadelphia Mint produced around 1.02 billion coins with no mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced nearly 1.79 billion coins, which bear the D mint mark on the reverse side. This mass production makes the 1964 Jefferson nickel one of the most common dates in the entire series. However, as we'll explore, not all 1964 nickels are equal. In fact, among these billions of coins, a few rare varieties and errors have become the holy grail for collectors. What makes certain 1964 Jefferson nickels so valuable is not just age or condition, but very specific features such as striking errors, full steps details, or proof-like finishes that occurred during the minting process. One particularly rare and mysterious variety is the 1964 Special Strike Jefferson nickel, sometimes labeled as a specimen or SMS coin. These were not regular circulation coins, nor were they standard proof issues. They were struck with a distinctive finish and sharper details, possibly as test pieces for a planned special mint set program that was eventually introduced in 1965. Only a handful of these 1964 SMS Jefferson nickels are known to exist today. These coins typically exhibit sharper rims, satiny surfaces, and much clearer steps on Monticello, features that are very difficult to find in regular strikes from that year. They were not released to the public and were believed to have come from a private estate tied to a U.S. Mint official. In addition to the SMS coins, collectors also seek out 1964 Jefferson nickels with full steps on the reverse, referring to the steps on a Monticello building being fully struck and clearly visible. Because of weak strikes and worn dies in the 1960s, full steps examples are very scarce and command strong premiums in high grades. Now let's talk about the value. A regular circulated 1964 Jefferson nickel is generally worth between 5 to 25 cents, depending on wear and condition. In uncirculated condition, that value rises slightly, often between 50 cents to a few dollars. But when it comes to full-step specimens, high-grade examples can reach prices in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. However, the real surprise lies in the rare SMS varieties and top-condition full-steps coins graded by major services like PCGS or NGC. One of the highest auction records for a 1964 Jefferson nickel came in 2016, when a 1964 SMS Jefferson nickel in near-perfect condition was sold for an incredible $35,250 at auction. It's one of only a few known to exist in that pristine state. Even more astonishing, collectors and experts speculate that if a new, previously unknown variety or pristine SMS coin with unique die characteristics were to be discovered, it could potentially fetch a staggering value of up to $3.5 million. That's right, a 5-cent coin for 1964 could become one of the most valuable coins in American numismatic history if authenticated and verified as a new or unique specimen. While such discoveries are rare, it highlights the importance of checking your old nickels carefully. Many valuable coins have been found in old jars, forgotten collections, and even pocket change. The key is knowing what to look for: sharp strike details, full steps on Monticello, unusual finishes, and any signs that the coin differs from the norm. When collecting 1964 Jefferson nickels, always examine both the obverse and reverse under magnification. Pay close attention to the clarity of Jefferson's features and the steps on Monticello. Coins with minimal wear, no contact marks, and strong luster are always more desirable. Grading is also crucial. A coin graded MS 65 or higher by a professional grading service can dramatically increase in value. Full steps designations further elevate the coin's worth, especially when combined with mint state or special strike quality. For those looking to invest, 1964 Jefferson nickels with full steps in MS66 or higher condition remain a popular and affordable entry point into high-grade coin collecting. They offer a good balance of rarity, history, and investment potential without the million-dollar price tag. In conclusion, this coin 5 cents 1964 Jefferson nickel United States coin history.